Hello and welcome to my world and my personal headcanon. This week, in case you can't tell by the title, the thumbnail, or the piece of bad artwork that I had commissioned, what can I say? I paid $5 for it, but it gets the point across. We're diving into a scenario of what if Vegeta was female. And I wanted to kick this idea around because I kind of feel like I came up with enough of a scenario here to where some of the fundamentals about the character would be significantly different, at least in terms of motivations and what they are striving for. And it goes all the way back to their youth. So, as born to King Vegeta, Princess Vegeta really has one expectation from the king, and that he wants her as soon as she's able to hook up with a proper, male Saiyan of a good bloodline and give him an heir. Basically, make sure the royal lineage continues as soon as possible, because his intention is to essentially pass over his own daughter, who will be next in line to the throne, and it's like give it to like the first male heir, and which would be an actual point of contention between father and daughter in that type of scenario, and further exasperated when Turbo is born. Because at that point, King Vegeta would be like, well, I have a son. I have no need for a grandson at this point. So, Princess Vegeta, you can go fuck off. He's like, yep. Like, so, needless to say, Princess Vegeta would be motivated to want to take the throne out of spite, being driven or having a far off goal to basically cause a Saiyan civil war, kill her brother, kill her father if she's still around, and become the queen of all Saiyans. And she's further motivated by this when she witnesses how Lord Beerus basically treats her father. It's like, oh, well, thinking, well, my dad is pretty pathetic, and she basically walks off and starts making her future plans. So, but because of her attitude, as a result of how she's basically been disowned and being denied her what would rightfully be hers in this base, in terms of the fact that she's the older of the two siblings between her and Tarble. When she, Nappa, and Raditz are off planet and that information order to return back home comes through, she chooses to ignore it, convincing Raditz and Nappa that it's going to be nothing major. It's just going to be her father, preparing to pass the torch early on to her brother Tarble, and that there's just no need to return to Planet Vegeta. Turns out that would be a good thing because, a short time thereafter, Planet Vegeta is destroyed by a mysterious asteroid or meteor shower. We all know it's Frieza. I know it's Frieza that does it. You know that Frieza that does it. Bardock tries to stop it, but, it kind of is what it is there. Princess Vegeta, of course, there will be that bit of disappointment that, because she wanted to be the queen of all Saiyans at some point. But she doesn't, so she's disappointed that her big long-term goal is now denied. But she is less than thrilled. As a matter of fact, she is absolutely livid when she learns that her brother Turbo was off planet and is missing, stating to Nappa when she hears this bit of news that she hopes for Turbo's sake that he never turns up, because she is going to kill him on sight because he's no longer protected by decree of the king. So it's like, okay, all bets are off. Over the next couple of decades, along with Nappa and Raditz, Vegeta is serving under Frieza and doing all the typical, day-to-day grunt work that Saiyans were already doing of planet acquisitions. And naturally, Vegeta is growing resentful for it day by day, week by week, month by month, year after year. And this is further, her feelings of resentment and wanting to do something about it and rise above her current situation is pushed and prodded by a lot of insults and mockery from the likes of Zarbon and Dodoria, particularly when they're using her title of princess as a way to insult her. As, oh, she's the princess of all of two Saiyans, not counting any straggling Saiyans that managed to be, for whatever reason, off of Planet Vegeta at the time of its destruction. But that's, we don't know about that yet. But so, needless to say, Vegeta, Princess Vegeta, would love to do something about it, but she gets a bit of a reality check when she sees how easily Frieza can destroy a single planet that was rebelling against them, and then does the mental calculations that if Frieza considers Zarbon and Dodoria to be his elites, and it's like, ooh, it's like challenging them outright is not a good idea, but she gives herself the goal to become stronger, to rise above her station. Either, get strong enough to take out Zarbon and Dodoria and take your place as Frieza's right hand person, right hand man, for lack of a better term, or even, take out the Emperor himself at some point and become Empress of the Galaxy. Again, free Vegeta being motivated, striving for things, giving herself goals to strive for. Now, over the course of the years, I do believe that Vegeta's relationship with Raditz would definitely be a lot different than you know than Raditz, considering Raditz to be just a lackey and a flunky. It'll be definitely a lot more tolerant and maybe borderline on friendly ish. And this will mostly be thanks to Nappa, who encourages Raditz to try and woo Vegeta to continue the Saiyan race. Needless to say, Princess Vegeta would never consider doing anything with Raditz in that regard. But, over the course of about 20 years, Raditz's attempts to impress her and trying to, try becomes a bit of a running joke, and she considers him more of a good natured, loyal fool who is trying to rise above his station, and she could admire at least that little bit of a quality because that is something that she's constantly been striving for because of, okay, again, she was going to be denied becoming queen of the Saiyans because of her gender and her prejudices of her father. She and obviously being under Frieza's heel means that's like, okay, there's really not much that she can do, and consider what could she do, so she can appreciate Raditz, trying, even if after 20 years it's more of a running joke. It's like, hey, it'd be more like Raditz, like, hey, Vegeta, you want to go and wink, wink, nudge, nudge, woohoo, and Vegeta basically, going like, no, I'm not going to, or something along those lines. I don't come up with good dialogue, but she's not gonna be like totally beat his ass down. It's like she considers it as a bit of levity, for lack of a better term. So with her attitude being like that with Raditz, that's obviously going to mean that her relationship with Nappa is going to be a bit better as well. Looking at him as more of a mentor, like the elder statesman of the trios. Like, okay, she can look at him and appreciate Nappa for more than what he is, and especially in terms of not taking things at face value. When Nappa starts hearing rumors that are more true than what he knows, that Planet Vegeta was actually destroyed by Frieza, And this has the effect on making Vegeta's Princess Vegeta's own goal to get stronger, to deal with just some petty teasing from Nappa and Dodoria over the years seem real petty, but it also gives her eventual, her desire to, what, if I could get strong enough to take out Lord Emperor Frieza, it gives that big goal because she could use the justification that she is avenging the Saiyan race at that point. Not necessarily her father, of course, but just avenging her people that she did not get a chance to lead. Now, obviously, as I'm trying to detail here, Vegeta, Raditz, and Nappa in this case are definitely a tight-knit three-person squad. That is until one fateful day when Raditz learns that his younger brother Kakarot may possibly be alive, and because his pod left planet Vegeta the day of its destruction. No pods were scheduled to leave said planet, of course. So it kind of gives Raditz thinking, maybe my brother is out there. And he goes off to find him. Now, Vegeta's not too keen on this, considering her own attitude towards Tarble being missing for so many years. But she doesn't stop Raditz from leaving. This is thanks mostly to Nappa pointing out that, hey, if there are more Saiyans out there in the galaxy that did not, heed the call to return back to Vegeta, the planet Vegeta before it was destroyed, could be a good thing. They could build up their numbers, and see and follow up on some information. Like, did any of them hear anything like what really happened? Because all they have is the claim that it was destroyed by an asteroid or a freak meteor shower, and the rumors that Frieza did it. So hey, if other Saiyans are out there, maybe they know something. However, Princess Vegeta would come to regret the decision and the choice to let Raditz go when Raditz is killed in his fight with Piccolo and Goku. When Goku has Raditz in the full Nelson and Piccolo kills them both off with the special beam cannon. And despite learning of the Dragon Balls and the ability to grant wishes, Vegeta wants to head to Earth more so out of vengeance to avenge a close companion, someone that she's come to appreciate. Someone that's been by her side for around 20 years at that point. So now it is on her and Nappa's journey to Earth, stopping off at Arlia and considering what the Dragon Balls can be used for in terms of, okay, they can grant wishes, that she considers like, okay, get revenge for Raditz and then use the Dragon Balls to become immortal. It's a different priority set for Vegeta in this particular case. So eventually they would of course arrive on Earth, and they have the initial face-to-face with Piccolo, Krillin, Gohan, and then the eventual arrivals of Ten Shinhan, Chaozu, and Yamcha. And Yamcha instantly gets the attention of Princess Vegeta, because her initial goal is focused on Piccolo, the Namekian. Piccolo killed Raditz. But then here is this this dude with this mundane power level, has a scar on his face and a bit of a roguish demeanor, and who is, quite frankly, she becomes a little bit impressed with, just based on his looks and the skill that he shows when facing a Cyberman. Of course, Vegeta is a bit disappointed when the Cyberman uses that self-destruction tactic, and her disappointment is more so in that Yamcha wasn't as skilled enough a warrior to notice that could have been a tactic used by a desperate enemy. But that Yamcha certainly caught her attention as like, well, skilled warrior could held her own with the Cybermen. Actually, one could say would have defeated it outright. That scar makes him looks pretty cool. He's like, basically, Yamcha is unintentionally put himself on Princess Vegeta's radar, despite now being a crater. Everything else subsequently happens kind of as the norm. Nappa fighting off the remaining Z fighters. So you get Chaozu's well-meaning self-destruction, which proves to be pointless. Tien expending all of his energy in a dying effort. Piccolo sacrificing himself for Gohan. And then Goku arrives and things take a turn. Nappa is fighting Goku one-on-one. And knowing that and Vegeta is irate for a few different reasons here. Vegeta is looking at Goku as being a big reason as to why Raditz is no longer around. And while under normal circumstances, she will never intervene on Nappa's behalf, when she sees that Nappa is having so much trouble with Goku, she fires off a ki blast to try and take out Goku, who dodges it, and that blast hits Nappa full force, killing him instantly. Needless to say, in the case of this particular what-if scenario, Princess Vegeta is rather distraught and goes all out in terms of fighting Goku. Everything happens as per normal, and everyone intervenes. Krillin, Gohan, and Yajirobe. I mean, it becomes almost a desperate fight because of Goku, because of Goku existing, Vegeta has lost the two people that's been with her the majority of her life, and and she is going literally balls to the wall and trying to take Goku out, but the odds end up stacking against her, despite her immense power level and everything being in her favor, becoming the mighty Ozaru. With everything else happening there, and despite all the emotion that she has into it, that her own emotions, her own rage, makes her vulnerable at the same time. So things, she is forced to retreat. And you would have the situation of Krillin wanting to kill her with the sword because of everything that happened to the rest of the Z Warriors. But Goku, tells Krillin not to. Let Vegeta go so that they can change, and become a better person and all that jazz. Not really understanding what set Vegeta off in the first place, and that she vows to kill Goku because of what he unintentionally took from her. So that's where I will figure that that we will end this scenario for now in that regard. And believe me, I wrote a bunch of notes that I was referring to here to try and to keep things on a timeline. But so yeah, so I think if we try to establish here, Vegeta is goal oriented. Problem is, her goals keep changing due to various circumstances beyond her control. But because she was not, going to be next in line to the throne, her relationship and attitude towards Raditz and Nappa definitely different. More so because of the gender and everything, but her her rivalry with Goku is very different. So I like to think I came up with something unique here for this type of scenario, and I definitely want to continue it. And I just got to figure out like how far in detail I want to deal with the Namek saga, because that would be one hell of a thing to cover. But if you made it through to this point, give me your thoughts, your opinions on this hokey what if scenario and the details that I covered. Tell me how much of an idiot I am, or if I actually came up with something kind of cool. Like, put them in the comment section below. Like, subscribe if you're so inclined. Totally up to you. Of course, come hang out with me over on my Twitch channel. I'm always up to something there. And with that said, we will see you in the next video. Bye.